Right, welcome back to Flyhigh Media Talks. We have another episode for you guys today, and today we are going to be talking about what metrics we should be tracking on our websites. So, not gonna lie, Matt is the numbers detail metric guru here. I'm only here to make stuff pretty. He's here to make things count, I guess. So yeah, from your perspective, because you manage all that stuff on our side, what are the main things or metrics that people need to be tracking, and what's important, what's less important, what's sort of more of a vanity thing, and what's more of a business structure, lead generation, sort of indication of things going up or down?
Yeah, so the broad picture, so looking at page views, unique visitors, returning visitors, that's good, and you should be measuring that. But ultimately, you want to be getting more conversions, whether that's inquiries, phone calls, things like that. So you should be mainly looking at your conversion rate, and not just the conversion rate, but the conversion rate from inquiry to actual sale. So you should be tracking that on your CMS. If you're another agency, then you should be working closely with your client as well to see their sales rate. So if you're driving a lot of traffic to the website, they're not converting. There may be something on the website that's not quite right. So they're not
They're not qualified.
Not quite qualified, yeah. So you might need to switch up copy,
Targeting.
Targeting. If you're using PPC, make sure the targeting is readjusted. Facebook ads as well, so make sure it's for the right audience. So there's that. Another thing is carefully monitoring the conversion rate and the traffic for individual pages. So looking at the overall picture, that's all well and good, but tracking individual pages is probably the best. So
that way you can what's working well, what's not working well within the actual website, right?
That's it. Yeah. So when you're looking at the overall picture, you can't quite tell what to do. So you have to go back into page to see what's going on. So there's things you can track, like, so we always recommend, and we love Hotjar, don't we? So we love to track how the user sees the website. So
Hotjar, let's jump into that, because I don't think a lot of people know what Hotjar is. Hotjar is a heat map software that essentially you can see where people are hovering over and clicking in a heat map sort of in a heat map way. So as good as numbers are and graphs to tell you what's happening in terms of metrics, what Hotjar actually allows you to do is see, I don't know, is it green where it's a lot or red where it's a lot?
It's red where
it's hot. Yeah, so it's red for hot and blue for cold. Yeah. So the area where people are clicking the most and hovering the most on the page, that's going to show like a little red, red mark around it essentially, and you're able to see where people's attention is. So that specifically you can put things that you want them to see in the areas that people seem to be looking at. So in at least countries that read from left to the right, we tend to put things on the left first that are the most important, because that's where people's eyes go naturally first, and things on the right that are less important. And you see that on websites as well. People naturally first go to that left side and read from there, as opposed to going to the right side. So yeah, that's just a little sort of Easter egg in there.
Yeah, and so I think to look at for Hotjar to work, you can't just do it over a day. So you need to measure it over. I'd say it depends how you're getting how you're getting traffic to the website. So, but I definitely recommend a few thousand visitors to make really good decisions and calculated and well thought out decisions. So leave that data to form for a while. I'd recommend to do the same for traffic results as well, to measure results, because if you're tracking 2 days versus the last 2 days, that's not the bigger picture. So you need to be, especially for SEO, if you do month-on-month comparisons, that'd be good. But if you're doing like a 3-month period versus another 3-month period, that's when you'll see really good growth. So for SEO, I definitely recommend looking at the bigger picture. So even 12-month comparisons, that's best. Each month there'll be steady growth, but when you look over a 12-month period, that's when you'll start to see.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a bit like trying to do a test group research based on 3 people. You're not going to get very good results of that. You need a wider user base in order to be able to measure something. And often what we do is measure month 1 versus month 2 versus month 3 if we're working on a 3-month campaign. Whereas that wouldn't be possible. It wouldn't really give us good enough results if we measured, for example, week 1, week 2, week 3. We still do it just to look, sort of peek in how things are going. But in terms of reports, there's not much point going, these 3 days were better than the last 3 days. That's not really, if it dips the next day, it could tank the entire last 3 days altogether.
Yeah.
So I think month by month metrics and measuring and adapting strategies to what's been changing over the past month is probably the best way to go.
Yeah, sure. Another thing to track, again, not so the traffic, so the page views, etc. That's like that's just like the overall picture. So what I'd look into as well is referral traffic. So if you're getting traffic from Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram stories, what I'd do is I'd make sure I track that as well. So if you get in loads of traffic from Twitter, for example, from Instagram, but you're not getting anything from Facebook, then maybe put some money into Facebook ads. Make sure that you're leveraging all the different channels, and same with email. If you're not getting much traffic from email and you've got an email list, make sure you're using that list. So if you've got 1,000 people on that email list, make sure that you use that email list, because it's free traffic, isn't it?
It is essentially free traffic, yeah. And the people that are willing to be on your email list, if they're still there, then obviously they know you have some value to give, so utilize that. At the end of the day, traffic you own, which is a bit of a buzzword around, isn't it?
Yeah.
Another thing I want to jump into is, and this is sort of lower level, a lot of people don't understand this, is page views versus hits. New users versus hits. And a lot of people don't sort of understand the difference between the two. So do you want to dive into that and sort of what's important?
Yeah. So unique visitors. So the individuals that like how many different people are come on the website each month. And then like sessions, that's the amount of time that people return to the site and things like that.
So if you had 300 people and everybody came twice, you'd have 300 new visitors and 600 sessions, essentially, because times 2.
Yeah, and another thing to track is like how many page views per session. So if that increases, it shows that you're doing something right. It shows that you're getting people engaged. It shows that you're going through. It shows that you've got good content if they want to read more and more. It also gives you a better idea of which pages that are going well. So another thing to track is the behaviour flow. So you should track start to finish people's journey. So if people land on a service page, that if they landed on our SEO, or if they landed on the SEO page and then they went to go to the contact form was, I don't know, maybe it was down for a month or something like that, and we didn't get any people contacting us, then we'd know there's a problem with that. So we'd go through the contact page and really have a look at that. So it is testing and it's trial and error, and you need to go through things regularly and test them and measure them and record them. So it's a real important part of it, because you need to take a situational analysis of where you're at each month, each quarter, each year, and then look to improve on it. So I think measuring growth is a big point too.
Absolutely, yeah. Are there any metrics that you see people measuring that don't really mean that much, or anything that isn't that important? Any myths you want to bust or anything like that?
Well, bounce rate, that's a difficult one to measure, really.
Yeah, bounce rate is a strange one.
Yeah.
Bounce rate is not really something you can control that much, because it can be stemming from a variety of different factors. So what bounce rate is the amount of people that come to your website and leave within a second.
Another metric to track is below, so you should go into devices and things like that. So looking at mobile versus desktop. So
yeah,
you should see if there's conversion rate issues or traffic issues with mobile or desktop. So for example, if there's a high bounce rate on mobile, that might mean it's slow. Same with desktop as well. Another thing is going further into mobile, and that's checking the screen size. So you can check the resolution of the screen. And if there's an issue with that, then that might mean that the website's not responsive to that screen size.
Yeah.
Or it may mean that the images are too big or something like that. It's just
a good way to actually check that is go into Page Insights by Google, and it will show you a breakdown of what's good on desktop, and what's bad on desktop, and what's good on mobile, what's bad on mobile. So if you're having issues like that, if you're seeing a dip in mobile users, for example, go into Page Insights on Google. You can Google it and put in your website URL, and it will give you a breakdown of potentially what might be wrong and how to fix it on mobile if there's an issue there. So it's essentially sort of trialing something that doesn't work and then fixing it if you see a dip in it. That's why analytics are important.
Yeah.
Another thing I think is just for ease of use, make sure that your Google Analytics account is connected to your, if you're running a WordPress website, that is, connected to your WordPress dashboard, so you can check some of the basic stuff within your WordPress dashboard, and it will actually show you analytics within WordPress when you log into the back end. Obviously more advanced, I don't think you see everything in there, but the more advanced stuff, you have to go into Google Analytics and check it there. But they have a whole host of features that you can use. I mean, Matt's checking it out now on his iPad, for example. It's just very easy to use. There's mobile apps for it as well.
They've got a very good app, to be fair.
They've got a very good app, yeah. So
that's not the best.
I think there's some customer data there on that. I don't know if you want to show that.
But yeah, the app's really good, by the way. So yeah, another thing to do to speed up mobile page speed is enable an AMP. You need that on all blog pages. So if you're running a service website, don't do that. But for blogs, then definitely do that. AMP basically loads a lightweight version of your website, so it's easier for mobiles to load it up.
Yeah,
that's especially useful for when people are loading the website over 3G, 4G, or a bad Wi-Fi
or worse.
What?
GPRS or is it H3 or H or just H? I can't remember. There's some old school, like if you go to these weird ends of even the UK, you get these weird mobile networks where you can't load anything.
Yeah.
So if you have AMP, you'll load faster than everyone else.
Definitely. Yeah.
Cool. I think we'll leave that there for now then.
Yeah,
if you have any more questions or any queries or anything specific to your website, drop them down below or email Matt or myself. We will answer all of our messages. And we will look forward to seeing you on the next episode.